So since 2004, Enterprise has been working to achieve impact and building a resilient organization which has a proven model for accelerating economic development through small business growth in lower income communities, and particularly focusing not just on the geographic location, but also understanding that many of our business owners who come from historically, socially, and economically disadvantaged communities equally struggle. So we have a mission that's focused both on place and on the history of economic inequality in our country. We focus exclusively on second stage growth companies. We don't work with startups, we don't work with the big guys. We really work at that point, and many of you who are alumni in this room know this, where a business gets stuck. And it gets stuck because everything you did to get it to initially grow just doesn't seem to be working again. And that's because there's a whole set of skills and knowledge that the owner now has to acquire. And they're best acquired by working together over time with a group of other small business owners who are going through the same transition.
You know, you build real trust by building real relationships and by finding out who's behind the person, you know? We can see a lot about someone from the outside. I can see your skin color, I can see your gender, I can see your relative age, I can see how you dress. You know, there's things I can see about and learn about your external context. I know your job. But that's just the tip of the iceberg of who you are. There's a soul behind that role, there's a person there, and if you think about the deals you've done in your life that worked, you found out who was behind that role. You found out. You don't do great change unless you have a great relationship, which requires trust. But then I'm going to now introduce you to the most powerful tool we use to help build trust, to help you understand the internal context of someone as well as their external context. So everyone stand up. Now, I want you to partner up with one person you do not know and hold your hand up until you find someone you don't know. They could be right next to you right now, but I don't want you to talk to somebody you know. Introduce yourself to this person, and then I want you to tell a true story of your life, a particular slice. So there's a story in your life of someone who believed in you when you did not believe in yourself. You got 4 minutes to tell that story. I'm going to time everybody simultaneously, and I want you extroverts, you go first, because they're going to be, the introverts really hate this part. And you just go for it.
Did y'all enjoy that? Boy, I actually got to know this gentleman here really well. I am just so impressed. How many of you met somebody you were really impressed with today? Isn't it amazing? Who else had some takeaways or something they'd like to share? Yes, Jeff.
Slow down and meet the people.
Boy, is that not true. How often do we have an agenda that we're trying to achieve to get on track? It's like right now, if I don't move on, yeah. But Jeff, what a great point. How do we slow down? I think that's the biggest challenge, because we're rushing to get everywhere. And I am so amazed I haven't seen people with cell phones in front of them today. Was there a sign at the door I missed?
I want to know how it is that this ephemeral thing called trust drives to the bottom line.
Well, in my business, I go in and out of various houses. My business, I worked for the very low income, middle class, rich and wealthy. My employees, I educate them every Tuesday. We have meetings regardless before anything goes out on the trust factor. As an African-American business, we only get one shot. One shot. And I thrive and I preach that every day, every Tuesday. When I go out to a customer house, my salesmen or my technicians, they represent who we are, what we're about. And I form my company where I don't have technicians that sell it. My technicians are there to tell the truth, to assess the problem, and give an honest assessment. So I built my company off of just trust. We tell it like it is, whether it's good or bad. give our assessment, our recommendation. Trust is very important to me. I instill it into my employees. Trust sums up my bottom line.
I'm really excited to present what we've called the Good Citizens Award. We started this last year, and it's my great honor to do it again. So the award is given to a Massachusetts-based Interrise small business that's not only expanding in terms of size, but is using that success to have a positive impact on our community. And although they operate in different markets, they all have a few things in common. First, they all built strong businesses and recognized that they needed some fundamental capacity building. Second, they all found what they needed through this Streetwise MBA program. And lastly, they've all remained active members of both the Interrise network and their community. I can tell you the competition for this year's award was very fierce. We had a lot of great nominations, and we tried to reduce it down to a few finalists who are here today. Please join me in congratulating Todd and Danielle Snapkowski of Snapchat. Thank you.
I want to thank my wife, Daniela, who we couldn't do this business without. She runs all the back office and does a phenomenal job. So some of the things that we're doing now that are, as I said, revolutionary, we give to the trainees celery, carrots, onions, chicken. They cut it up, they make a soup. And where does that soup go? Back home with them. A lot of the folks that we work with are trying to increase their living wage, skill level. We try to help them with that. We do that in our class trainings. But giving back is what I've been hearing a lot of. We do give back a lot to the employees and the community members to actually produce food for people that are homeless, hungry, and make an impact and donating that back to the community. And we're just really scratching the surface on that, but it's been something I've been working towards since I was an executive chef for Aramark Corporation over 15 years ago. So we're going to end hunger. I can stand here and say that we will make an impact on that. So. And thank you for everybody.
Before we wrap up, I'm going to do something that I think we'll probably do, I don't know, only once every 10 years or so, and that would be to spend a second, and Jean's already covering her eyes over there, but Jean Horstman's 10th anniversary with Interrise was October 6th, which was yesterday. And we had a little reception for her last night. We shared a couple of drinks and a couple of thoughts around the successes that we've had. But I just wanted to spend a minute and acknowledge Jean's leadership. An organization that started with not a lot and has expanded into this, and that network that you see, that map that you see where the impact is expanding across the country, really is very powerful. And at some point, it's going to grow to look a lot like that Verizon map that you see on commercials all the time. Right, Jean? And the number that really jumps out at me is going from 12 companies in Boston to over 4,000 in 75 plus cities. And these companies are responsible for creating over 30,000 jobs. So now imagine that those 30,000 jobs, the impact that they've had on their communities, and you begin to understand why the board, our partners, all of you, we're so incredibly proud of Jean and what she has done to lead Interrise as a growing organization with a growing impact. From program to network, it's all about trust. That's a Jean quote. Jean, you've led Interrise to become a trusted, resilient organization. We're thankful for the growth and trajectory of this network, and we look forward to seeing what your leadership will bring us over the next 10 years. So thank you very much.
This isn't my anniversary, this is ours. I've only been able to do what I've done over the last 10 years because so many amazing people have stepped up to say the mission of this organization, the vision we hold of an America where the economy works for everyone, is one that deeply resonates in the heart and soul of so many of us. Yeah, I don't have words right now. This is where my grandmother would say, now, Jean, just shut your mouth and say thank you. So, thank you.